Hello, everybody, fans out there and supporters from Metal Crash Radio. Here's Jürgen again. I have the honor and the pleasure to talk today to Oddie and to Gabby from the band Damn Your Eyes. Hi, guys.
Hey, Jürgen.
Hi.
First of all, I'd like to thank you for your time. I appreciate it. I think it's around lunchtime on your end of the world.
Yeah, it's about lunchtime. We appreciate you getting in touch with us.
Yeah, well, evening is starting, so I'm fine with that. So that's no problem. The band Damn Your Eyes, you are out of New York. I think at the moment, I don't know how big your fan base in Europe or in Germany is, but I would like you to introduce the band a little bit to us. So your history a little bit, when you were founded.
Sure. I'm Artie Alexander. I started the band in 2015, and I worked on the music for a while. For a couple of years, some of the songs that we started, but we couldn't find the right lineup. And eventually, I started the band with a guy named Jamie Valdesano, who was a local drummer here in New York. And we were looking for the right singer, and we knew of a guy who's our singer now, Kenny Vincent Jr., and he was in a band called Bonesmith. And it's been so many years between him playing in Bonesmith and him moving away. He moved away to Arizona. But I heard he was coming back to New York, so I got in touch with him. I sent him a message, actually, and I didn't hear back from him for another year. But once he got back to New York, he joined up right away. And I grew up playing with our bass player, Oddie McLaughlin, who grew up with me in Valley Stream, New York. And he was interested in playing with us, but he wanted to come in when we were set to really start playing. He plays in another band called Blackwater Rising. And so once Kenny joined up, Oddie joined up, and that's when it really started to go around 2017. And, we had some issues with Jamie, and, not everybody was on the same page pretty much. So we went through another session of drummers. We recorded the EP with this guy Rick, and we also did the album that we have out called Kill the Outside, which was released in 2019 with Rick as well. And we parted ways with Rick. We were trying to find the right mixture of personality and talent, really. We wanted to step up our game a little bit with the metal music, and more kick drums and more style. And so we went through, another drummer just to try to work things out. He wasn't on the same page with us, really. And then when COVID hit, actually right before when COVID hit, I reached out to a bunch of drummers around here, and Darren answered me, and he was interested. And when he came down, he was perfect for it. So that's how Darren got into the band. Darren Markoff, he's the drums. He does the drums. Okay. And Gabby and I played together in another band. We did some touring together for a while, and for 2 years actually. And when Gabby let me know that he was parting ways with that band, we got together and we talked, and he joined on the spot. So I missed playing with Gabby, and we flowed together very well. So to be in a position where we could work off each other and write with each other and kind of push each other. It was just the right mixture. So as soon as that happened and we were able to get into a rehearsal studio, because everything was closed down around here,
Yeah.
Everything we did before then was from Pro Tools. I'd record stuff at my house. I'd send it to Gabby. I'd send it to the guys. Gabby learned everything by himself at home. So when he came into the studio, he was completely prepared. And Darren had all the songs down. And so when they learned the set and the songs that we had already, we just started working on new stuff right away. And we figured, let's hit the studio. Let's get a few of these songs recorded, and being able to announce Gabby was in the band and Darren was with us, and show the direction we were going. We were progressing. We're getting better. We're getting a little heavier, a little edgier, but we're really working on a lot of the guitar work now and making it so it's the perfect mixture of everything.
That's the good thing, especially in a band. I think you're a five heads band.
Yeah.
So that means the chemicals have to fit. It has to match. Otherwise, at the moment, unfortunately, it's not possible to go on tour due to that virus, and nobody knows how long this will take place. But that's a different story. Anyways, so you mentioned that you have songs already done, so they would be ready to record now. What you mentioned before?
We have 3 new recordings with this lineup. We released the last one in September, called "Heavy Is the Head."
Yeah,
find that on all streaming services, and we have a video on YouTube also for that. And we recorded 2 other ones, which is going to be our next release, which is "Lock and Load," and then we have a 3rd one that we're going to release sometime in the very beginning of the new year.
So Midterm, is that an album that is evolving out of these 3 songs? Is that's the baseline maybe, or the starting point?
It's the starting point. During COVID, I was home. They shut down New York City, so I wasn't able to work. So while I was home, between doing stuff around the house, I spent a lot of time writing and recording riffs and songs and ideas. So we have a ton of material we can work on. And even last week, me and Gabby were in the rehearsal studio together, just alone for a little while before the guys showed up. And he was showing me some stuff that he had, and we were kind of just molding that out a little bit. So it doesn't take long for us to when we get together to fire up something and have a good idea that we could branch off of and make a good song, like a good foundation for a song. And
so that means you don't have, it's like a teamwork, it's a cooperation. So each member brings his input and you create this song together, right? So it's not that you have one person who's mainly doing the lyrics, harmonies, things like that. How does that work?
I write the majority of the riffs, and then I bring them to the guys, and then everybody adds their, they put their fingerprint on it. So Oddie's very good at the structure of a song. We need another part here. We need to do, like he hears things like that. Gabby's amazing at taking a riff and working on top of it and blending in another sound. I write all the lyrics. It's just the way it's been. So I guess I'd be the main songwriter for now, but that's evolving. We're changing that because as we get more comfortable with each other and as we, just progress as a band, everybody has inputs. Oddie sends me riffs. I write songs off of his riffs. I add my own little taste to it. Danny Rise has its own little flavor.
Yeah,
so,
everybody brings his ingredients in.
Yeah, everybody puts their ingredients in, and to make it what it is. We're not the most unique band in the world, but when you hear us, it's us. We don't get really confused with anybody else. Kenny sounds a lot like Lane Stanley. He's got a great voice. He's got great range. Yeah. I do a lot of singing with him. We play off each other. So the more pieces we put in, you don't want to add too much, but you want to add the right amount where...
Yeah, and right mixture.
Yeah, the right mixture. So you have exactly what you have, and we stand on our own with that,
Yeah. So...
What do you think, Gabby?
What's that?
I just wanted to hook him in.
I agree with everything you said. And it is definitely, you are the driving force with the compositions, but each of us starts adding in things to the dish, and it starts to take on a unique sound. Like Darren's definitely got his style, the drummer, and a lot of the things he does really develops the song. Tempo changes, the use of the double kick, the fills, everything. And then, like Artie said, Kenny singing adds that, and Oddie, and then like he said, I add things on top of riffs, little flourishes here and there. Yeah. And before you know it, it's a multi-dimensional sound as opposed to just like, sounding like one guy wrote everything.
Yeah. The thing is, I mean, sometimes it's just a small portion that you need to add that makes the icing on the cake of a song. That's the highlight. So it's,
It gives it depth, but it gives it depth composition.
Yeah. So you mentioned the new video that you intend to release soon. I was lucky to see it and to see the lyrics. To me, it's a great video, absolutely. And the lyrics, I mean, it's tough, straightforward. So could you tell me a little bit about the song, about the lyrics, as you are the main lyric writer? So,
well, Gabby lives in Manhattan, and we live on Long Island, which is, we're not too far, right outside of the city of New York, Queens. It was hard enough with everybody being stuck in their houses with COVID. And then, the tragedy happened with George Floyd, and, the world went wild, especially the United States. I know that all over the world, they had protests and they had things going on. But, we're right here in the middle of this situation. And, at the time I was going in, because the way the trains were and COVID, we were worried. I was going in and picking up Gabby for rehearsals and stuff. And, I would pick them up in the afternoon and drop them off right before it got dark out, and you'd see everybody gathering with their signs and whatnot. And, so I found that we were caught in a moment in time that was important and for all aspects. And I wanted to capture that a little bit. And I noticed that, instead of having a conversation about the issue, it was just everybody took a side, and it became like, either you're on our side or you're in our way for everybody. Everybody was confused about it, and there was never a conversation. And the media loves to push that stuff. The more division they create, the more people are going to tune in, because there's more stuff going on, and there's fires here, and this city's on fire, and we saw a lot of destruction here in New York. The protests happened, and then the agitators got involved, and whoever they are, I'm not pointing fingers. We don't get involved in that stuff. We don't have a side. It's just about it's telling a story and writing a song about a certain situation, and how it developed from a movement for a good cause into this division. And then, you have people, taking up arms and all over the country. You have, extremist groups getting involved. And I kind of just wrote the song about that, about, the issues that, one side kind of feels this. I wrote it from both sides a little bit, and how worried, Americans are like, oh, now they're going to take away our guns. Now they're going to do this. Now so, I wanted to touch on every area of it to make sure that, I got the story right. I just wasn't telling one side of the story,
And that's, you reached the goal, because when I went through the lyrics, it's, how should I say, it's straightforward, and it's an aggressive lyric to me, but this has always the effect, rather than a discussion or a conversation, like you said, that people listen, people look, because they think, wow, what is that? What is that guy singing? So that was my first impression when I went through the lyrics. So I think to me, it's a great song, absolutely. And I think you reached the goal to bring people to listen, maybe to open your eyes. I mean, all over the world, shit is going on, but you have to find a way to deal with it. I don't know what makes it so hard and difficult to live side by side, just doing what you want to do, and that's it.
Right. When I sat down to write the lyrics of that song, I wasn't really focused on that particular issue. When I write stuff, things just start to come together, and it starts to make sense to me. And we were sitting on a really good song itself, musically. Darren does amazing work on it. Oddie's always awesome, and the guitar work that me and Gabby do, we're playing off each other. I do a solo, he does a solo. And I really wanted Gabby to showcase some of what he does to bring it to light, to show that Gabby's in the band now, and show his talent. So we had this great song already, and it just came together like that, and it started to flow out of me, and I wanted to make sure that I wasn't sending the wrong message. Because we're we're not a political band. We talk about stuff, you know. We talk about everyday life, and politics is part of that, I guess. But we're not just a political. You know, we don't take sides. Our lives are about music, and you know, and about this family that we have. You know, we have a musical family. We all really get along. We all look out for each other. We all lift each other up. Some guys having a problem, we lift each other up, and that's the most important. I wasn't like, oh, we got to make a statement here, you know. It just happened that way, and it worked.
Well, sometimes things just go their way.
Yep.
And you don't really can control it. Yeah. So, Gabby, you played together before. How long do you know each other, and how long are you familiar with the playing with the style and stuff?
We started playing together in early 2017, and did a lot of shows together, a lot of tours together, traveling together, eventually rooming together, and we could practice together, you know, before the show, which was very cool. And but almost immediately we were able to just play well together, because maybe only a few months in, I remember playing in Los Angeles, and this woman who watched us, and she's a musician herself, she said that together we sounded orchestral, which is very good because our tones aren't the same, but they mesh well together.
Yes.
So, and then over time, we just started developing almost a telepathic kind of thing. He's on one side of the stage, I'm on the other, and we just have to even just look at each other and we're there. And it's gotten better and better because now that we're playing together in a band with original compositions, it's more fun because we can start to play off each other creatively, not just playing other people's music.
So, I mean, that's the point, I think, especially with two guitars, in the band in total, but to understand each other more or less blindly and know what the other will do, or know the style of playing and this and that, to join in and to bring it to a result that is badass at the end of the day.
Exactly.
So, yeah, pretty cool.
Yeah.
So you're now with that lineup together and rehearsing and playing together since 1.5 years, around that?
No,
I joined the lineup only, what was it, late spring? Was it like around May, or was it June?
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh.
I think we got into rehearsal, late May, early June. And so that's when we all started really, playing together. I played with Oddie forever, and, Kenny's been in the band for years. So, but with Gabby and Darren, it's only been since like May. And then we went into record in June, so.
That's pretty awesome.
We don't waste any time.
The recording is, I've done a lot of sessions in my life with different styles, but this recording was really good. I mean, the energy was popping and it flowed beautifully. So that was great.
So we did the recordings with John Idivio, which is another guy that we knew from my neighborhood growing up. And he did our first album and our EP.
Okay.
And, he just makes it really comfortable in the studio. We have a lot of fun. We make fun of each other. We laugh. But there's also that drive there of getting the right sound. A little push and pull. I want it one way. He wants, a little bit of that. But that's how you smooth out the edges and you get what you're really looking for, Yeah,
and for a good result, I think it's way better to have fun, to make fun out of each other, rather than being serious like hell, like engraved in stone. And I don't think so. I mean, for everything you do, there should be at least a little bit of fun, a little portion of fun.
That's the whole idea of this, is to have fun,
It gets ugly if you're not having fun.
So the whole band is located in New York. The whole band members, they all live in New York. So out of that area ever since. So that means the other band members, you knew each other also for a long time?
No, I knew. I was actually back when I was a kid. Kids used to have paper routes. They would deliver the local newspapers, and Oddie's house was on my route. So I used to deliver to Oddie's house when I was a little kid, and he had he had brothers in the house, and when I would show up, they'd be like, "Come in and have soda and cookies," His family was really cool, And then when I got a little older, I ran into him again because I was into the metal scene. He was into the metal scene. And I was an up-and-coming player, and these guys really took me under their wing and, you know, made sure I was protected, made sure no one beat me up in town, you know, that kind of stuff. So since then, Oddie and I have known each other. You know, Kenny I've known for 20-plus years because of the local scene from his band, Bonesmith, and which he played in with Eric Bonesmith. You know, Eric Bonesmith. Kilco, right? So they were in the band together. So so I've known Kenny for 20-plus years. And Darren, we talked maybe a year ago about setting up a show when he had Korotory going and Damn Your Eyes. But we didn't realize that we had that conversation until just recently, you know. So Darren I just started talking to in the spring when he was interested in playing with us. And he had the right mindset. He really knows how to work the social media too. He helps me out a lot on that end. A lot of the stuff we do ourselves. You know, when we do the releases, we kind of hire some stuff out, but we push a lot of the stuff ourselves. You know, we're learning the new way of doing things. You know, it's not like you can just get a record company anymore and they take care of everything. Now they rely on that, and that's another thing that we, you know, in order to go in and do a full album, we'd like to have a label behind us. You know. You know, to help with the finances and for the distribution and to get us sold
easier.
To be able to come over and play Germany and Europe and you know, South America and all those places awesome. Where we have a small fan base, you know.
No doubt. But it would be awesome. I mean, over in Europe, nobody knows when this will happen again. If I have a little bit of hard time to accept that. Because last year I was at a Def Leppard gig in Germany in the Olympic Stadium, 70,000 people.
Wow.
Bon Jovi and Def Leppard. My all-time faves, I follow them since 40 years, so I saw them 16 times, I think. And last year, 2 times in 3 days. That was awesome. They played just only 2 gigs in Germany. But if I imagine that this won't happen again, 70,000 people, I mean, it's awesome. It's absolutely awesome. When you have a full-packed stadium and they sing the chorus, that's just like goosebumps rip your shirt. That's awesome.
Yeah.
And we just can open seat. So that would be the goal. But how is the recording going on at the moment? Because can you go to a studio? Is the studio open at the moment?
You mean a recording studio or a rehearsal?
Yeah. Or how does it work?
Well, yeah, John has it in a house. So, you know, if somebody's not feeling well, you know, they go to the doctor and they get checked out. But, you know, we're able to go in and record whenever, you know. Right now we have our own rehearsal space, so we don't have to go to one where we rent hourly. We have our own room. We could go in and out as we please. So that helps out a lot, especially with our schedules. 5 guys schedules, and you know, some of us have families, and so that helps too. So you know, we could go in and record it anytime we want. We're working on some new ones as well. So
So currently, songwriting or finding new songs is going on. It's an ongoing process, I suppose.
Oh yeah. We're always writing. Yeah, I'm always writing, and Gabby's now writing alongside with me, and Oddie's always got ideas. You know.
So you also do your pieces, Gabby. You also do your pieces.
Yeah, I write for a while. All the time, coming up with ideas and things. I also play classical and flamenco guitar, so some of my stuff I'm working stuff on the acoustic guitar, you know, with that, which is not completely different.
So, does that mean you have a classical education?
Yes, I studied classical music. My parents were adamant about it, so I was doing that since I was a little boy. So yes, and I studied music and still study.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, I still study music. I can read music, like, you know.
That's awesome. And that's honestly, man, because I tried desperately as a young dude for 3 years to get it on my own.
What,
So
classic guitar?
as you can see, the plan was to become a rock star. As you see, it didn't work.
Well, you saying you studied classical guitar?
No. I was trying to learn to play guitar on my own. You know, with a grip table, I cannot even read a single note or something.
You have to be dedicated. Practice.
That's
Jürgen.
what all the good ones say.
Jürgen,
Yeah.
I can't read music. I know zero about music. So
yeah, you don't have to read music.
I just hear music. So I learned how to play.
Yeah.
And when I'm doing stuff, Gabby knows actually what I'm doing. I don't. He'll be able to look at my hands and say, "Oh, you're in this scale, or you're in this thing," you know. So
they both have different approaches. So you can write, Gabby, you can write it down. You know, so do it this way, and you record it, or you just keep it in your head.
You want me to start writing down our songs, though?
No, it doesn't matter. I won't know what you're writing.
Right. I have good software. I got Sibelius on my other computer right here, so I could be like, it's tedious though with the mouse. You know, better to play it through a MIDI pickup into the software and then correct whatever things and then print it out. You know.
Well, I'm far away from being able to judge this in one or the other direction. I know this sort of guitar players. I think that the most important thing is that you love your instrument and you love what you're doing.
Without doubt.
Yeah.
So the future plans is, if I understood you right, to get hopefully rather sooner than later, to Europe to tour, because I can imagine you're more tour band. I mean, typically you release an album and you go on tour and you play gigs and stuff, which is very limited at the moment.
Yeah.
So,
well,
and I suppose you haven't had a live gig up to now.
Together we haven't, no, and we're a live band. We try to capture that in the recordings, and the recordings are great. But we're a live band. Like our whole purpose was to be one of the best live bands out there. And in order to do that, you have to play live all the time. So we've been doing the rehearsals, we've been working ourselves up to that point, but we want to get out and play. And it's going to happen when it's going to happen, right? We don't have any control over that. Yeah. So the only thing we could do is prepare and keep going and keep writing and keep working together and doing all those things. Maybe come out with some new music if it doesn't open up in the spring or in the winter. Go back into the studio.
Nobody knows at the moment.
Just keep pushing, and then when it happens, we're gonna hit. We're gonna start where we are and start playing New York and Philly and Pittsburgh and Boston and all those areas, and then hopefully, with the right, with the right connections and the right people, we could get ourselves in a position where we could get over to Europe.
It's always a matter of you have to be lucky as well.
I think we do.
Maybe the right person opens the right door. That's
right.
And what we are doing, we are supporting mainly unsigned bands from all over the globe. We have Russian bands, we have bands from India, we have from nearly all over the globe. Awesome. And there's such a lot of great guys, great musicians, badass bands out there. But the point is, nobody will recognize it. Nobody will realize it because nobody hears them. So that's it's a shame. And I mean, because somehow all the big and established bands, they are fat enough, they get tired, they get lazy, and they just repeat on an endless loop the last album or the last chart breaker or whatever, and this for tens of years. So I'm way too old to think about what I'm stating. So I'm stating straight on the Scorpions, for example. I'm so pissed off the Scorpions. I mean, they do their farewell tour since 12 years or 13 years. And when I hear the whistle of this awful mainstream song, Winds of Change, I have to switch channel or something because this drives me crazy. If I hear the whistle, I'm done.
But there's some bands that people want to go hear what they've done. They want to hear the classics, and I'm talking about older bands that have been around for 20 years or something, 30 years. A lot of people aren't even really, maybe they're interested in the new material, but obviously they want to hear stuff that they've done that's classic.
I'm with you. I mean that each
I'm
band.
just saying, I'm not saying I like it or don't like it. I'm just saying it is what it is.
The thing is, what I want, it goes more into the direction. Maybe I explained it a little bit wrong. Those bands that are still badass, that are still good, that are able to play their instrument properly, because I paid a price, and typically for such bands, it's a high price if you get a ticket. And then it's enough for maybe 50 minutes.
Mm.
If I sum off the breaks and stuff, and then paying $150 to see Keith Richards with every third grip in the wrong tone, in the wrong on the wrong level, no. Honestly speaking, I would rather see like the early Monsters of Rock, bands like your band, 8 in a row one day, like it was in former times when I was a young dude in the 80s. I would rather go for that. But
and that's why Chuck Berry was giving Keith Richards a hard time on a few occasions. You know, there's some footage of Chuck, you know, yelling at him.
That was funny. Well, that was really funny. Well, I think what you're trying to say, and what I got from it was, bands go by a formula, you know, and they put out the same album, you know, and that's great if you're AC/DC. They can pull it off because they're just awesome like that, you know. What our main thing was, we don't want any of our songs to sound the same. So if you go back and listen to our album, Kill the Outside, not one of those songs sounds like the other song. You know, there is no formula. We write a riff that we like, and we work from there. And wherever it takes us, it takes us. You know, if it's not up to our par, we erase it and we start again. You know, and that's the thing of having such a diverse group of musicians in this band now, is that it could take us anywhere, and that's what's so exciting about it. You know, having Gabby's abilities, you know, just his writing and his flavor and stuff can change a whole song and take it in a total another direction. So our main goal is to write songs that are completely different than the other songs and not fall into that pattern of the same album over and over again. Because I've noticed it in some of the heavier bands today too. They struck a chord and they want to still play that same chord over and over again, which, you know, it works for them, I guess. And I can't speak for any of those guys because I admire what they've done and their longevity in the game. Yeah. That's something we strive to have, is that longevity. But we, on a personal level, and I think I can speak for all the guys, is that we want to do it on our terms, and we want to do it so we're giving a different experience to every song, you know. And then we could build our set around all those different experiences and create a really good live show where, you know, people.
I think it makes it more exciting.
Yeah, like when I used
also to find a song, the songwriting itself, to create a song, I think it's more exciting if you're not fixed in one direction. So I'm absolutely with you, and that's
the cookie cutter. We say in English, the cookie cutter. You know, like the same stamp of the cookie record. Yeah. Same old, same old. There's nothing new. Without something new, it's boring.
So it's a basic number, and you have, I don't know how many words of a basic number.
Right, at that point, it's just like a business. You know, that's it.
Once you have to deliver, and once you find a direction where these guys that are a bit different like we are, listen to it and follow you through, it works. I mean, I just only, beside of AC/DC, I know just one additional band where it works, and that was Status Quo. I don't know if you know them, British band.
I don't know. No.
What's the name?
Well, I think Status Quo.
Oh, Status Quo.
I think you Rockin' All Over the World was one of their chart breakers. I don't know if it made it over the sea to your end of the globe.
I bet you if I heard it, I would know what it is.
Yeah, I mean, they always had, they were called in Europe the 3-chord band because it sounded like that. But the other point was you knew what you got. I mean, if you bought a ticket and you went to the concert, you knew what you have to expect, and that's it.
Yeah. So Gabby and I are familiar with the 3-chord band, you know, and that's why we wanted to have this different experience, you know, where we really explore and get out of that, you know, the scrabble of riffs. You know, you have 5 riffs and you just interchange them, and But we want to really expand and just be a
Not
different.
stealing my jokes. That was
Yeah, that's Gabby's joke.
musical Scrabble. So you just put like in a cup, you know, the same
Yeah.
chords and shake them up and.
Yeah, and just grab it in a different sequence, and that's it. Yeah. Yeah, that shouldn't be the goal, because the point is, I think, if you're going that direction and you're just fixed, it's boring for you. And if nothing new happens, I mean, you're stuck. You don't evolve and develop anymore.
A lot of times when I'm writing, like I've listened to stuff, because I have a Pro Tools set up for years, and I listen to stuff over the years, and I can hear like certain periods, I'll maybe come up with 10 ideas, and they're kind of from the same mother, you know? But then basically it's not 10 ideas, it's one song. And it's how, you know what I mean? Instead of trying to like make a record out of one basic mother of those things.
Yeah, and that's often the case when they are, when they got popular, when they made a lot of money, but it is what it is. There are also other examples. Well, I just looked because, again, I cannot even remember 3 different things. Normally, I just look at my notes. I think we covered nearly all. Yeah. I just can say thank you again. I mean, typically the last word before I say goodbye is on you guys. Anything in direction of your future fan base?
All right. I can't wait to get back on the road and get back to Europe. It's always so much fun, especially, I mean, Germany. So many great shows there that we played there. Fans are really great. I mean, it's a generalization, but yeah, I can't wait for this lockdown to be over and to get back over there. And and to develop as a band live. To all those shows will grow each tour, each gig, and so yeah, I can't wait for that.
Metal fans in Germany, they are great guys. They just look a bit different, but the point is, nobody will throw anything on stage because he doesn't like your style. He goes to the bar. And that's it. Gets a drink. You know what I'm saying? So it's a real huge community, and you can rely on that. So
it's fantastic.
If they fall in love with you, then it's forever.
They're the best fans in the world, metal fans. You know, I know I'm one of them. You know what I mean? So I've experienced being a fan and going to all those shows as a fan my whole life. So I know what that's all about. You know, and being on the other side of things now is cool. I'm still a fan. You know, I still go to shows and I still go watch bands play when I could. But now being on the other side, I know how much it means to them, and I know how much work we have to put in to play at that level, to satisfy, what they're looking for, and to be, the one thing that we really want to be as a band is we want to be an honest band. We're not up there doing things because we want to look cool or we want to get a girl or whatever it is. We're out there because of the music. And we want people to leave shows like when I would leave a Pantera show in 1992, just with my mind blown, and know that these guys aren't a bunch of cocky guys up there that think that their shit doesn't stink. We're just regular guys. We're all blue collar kind of guys. We're it ain't about that, man. It's about the music and about the camaraderie and the fan base. I have a hard time saying fans, because I never thought of things that way.
You're part of it.
But the truth is you start developing a fan base and you have to nurture that. We're reachable guys. We like to talk to people. We like to meet people. I saw that a lot. Gabby showed me that the first time I was in Europe, getting to know the people, and so I started talking to everybody too. And what a friend! Everywhere we went in Europe was a friendly atmosphere. And people were kind. People were about music and about what was going on, and
it's honest. It's an honest scene. It's an honest community, and it's straightforward.
It's a movement. It's not just that. It's a movement. And it's really cool. It inspires me every day. I push myself. I've had to push myself tremendously just having Gabby in the band, so I don't look silly.
Stop.
Alex, well, the reason why when I mentioned, I mean, it breaks my heart with the Scorpions. It was my very first concert I've ever been in 1979 at the age of 15 or 16 years old at the Love Drive tour. Great album to me. And before the Love Drive album, they released a live album recorded in Japan, Tokyo Tapes, to me, one of the best live albums ever. And this was, at that time, that was honest music. So great stuff, great lineup. And it lasted for at least, 10 years, 12 years. And then for whatever reason, I mean, it's just my personal opinion. Don't get me wrong. I don't want to point out Scorpion fans or something like that. I'm far away from that. It's just my personal subjective opinion, how I feel it. And this is what really breaks my heart because I can remember that concert.
So the Scorpions are your poster child of what not to do or not to become. That's okay. I'm going to have to check it out then. I'm not, familiar with their latest offerings.
I'm to be honest, I didn't follow them anymore because, again, they are playing since, I don't know, at least 12 years, I think, for the farewell tour. And what a break for me was when they teared apart with Michael Schenker, because Michael Schenker was a mastermind. He did half of the songs of the Left Drive album. He was a hell of a guitar player. I saw him in, I think, in every band that he had, Michael Schenker Group, McAuley Schenker Group, Michael Schenker's Fest, with UFO, and he's just a brilliant guitar player.
Oh, he's inspired so many people. I hear his name all the time. When you hear the guys that I grew up listening to talk about guitar and music, you hear his name all the time. Yeah,
and he's really great, and he's still, I think he's about in the middle of the 60s right now. So the last time when I saw him was about 4 years ago, live on stage, and he was about beginning of the 60s, and he's just simply still badass. He's just great. He's awesome. He is. He does riffs well. Again, goosebumps rip your shirt. I mean, you just stand in front of the stage and think, "Wow, how does this guy that accomplish?" Yeah, it is what it is. Okay, thanks. I mean, this was a bit far out, but that's fine. I think. Again, I appreciate your time. Awesome.
Thank you.
Hope to hear more from you. I'm really excited. Definitely looking forward to the release of the video, and check back what you did, and I think badass things are to come.
I hope
Thanks,
so.
guys, again. Thanks for being so honest, transparent, and giving us a little bit insight. So
anytime, Jürgen. It was really nice meeting you after all the conversations on Messenger and stuff, and we appreciate you doing this for us. And we hope this is the start of a good relationship with you and with the people in Europe and in Germany and whoever else you come across with this stuff, to introduce the band to them. We plan on doing big things, and we're not going to stop when we get there.
I'm really excited and curious, and looking forward to that. And we will see us again. I'm pretty sure about that.
Hopefully, we'll see you soon in Germany playing a show.
Hopefully, we just have to kill this virus. If it would be that easy. Okay, thanks, guys.
Thank you. Have a great day.